Hey everybody, Kyle Meinke here from MLive.com, joined by Nate Atkins. We are in the Indiana Convention Center still, 4 days later I think it is, or something like that. It feels like we've been indoors all week here in Indiana. But obviously here for the NFL Combine, interviews and bench press taking place in this building, field drills just across the street at Lucas Oil Stadium. We talked to running backs the first day, Nate. Today, it was defensive tackles and linebackers, obviously a huge day from a Detroit perspective with their needs on that side of the ball in terms of personnel and also the changing defensive philosophy. And I'm just curious, who is the one guy that's really popped to you so far, either from like the field drills or from people you've talked to here at the Combine?
Yeah, for a guy for today that I spent the whole time with was Harold Landry. He's the outside linebacker, edge-type player out of Boston College. Played for Paul Pasqualoni there last year, so it's an easy connection. But he fits a lot of what the Lions could be looking for as an edge rusher, a speed-type rusher, opposite side of Ziggy Ansah. And coming in here, the question with him was going to be, what's he going to measure, and really how strong and bulky is he? I mean, he missed the final few games last year with an ankle injury. He's not the bulkiest guy in the world. But he came in, he's about 6'2½", almost 6'3", 250 pounds, and he had 24 reps in the bench press, which is pretty impressive at that size. It's 3 more reps than Von Miller had at the same size years ago. He turned out okay. And so this is for a guy that's only been lifting for a few months after a long time off with the ankle injury. So he was impressive in that front, and I enjoyed talking to him. I thought he had all kinds of confidence in the world, but also a real understanding of what his skill set is, what he needs to hone with that, what he needs to add to it, and what the process is for that with strength. He talked about, you know, those different techniques and what he needs to add with hand techniques. There's a lot of upside with him, and I think he was aware of that.
Yeah, he's my favorite person I think I've talked to as well, and I say that just from the perspective of I think he makes a ton of sense for the Lions at 20. He's a name you're going to hear about a lot, guys, over the next 7 weeks or so here before the draft, because he plays a position of need. He has a fit that might fit into what they're trying to do up front there. He's a little smaller, but he's got that speed rush. He bends well. He had 1 million sacks 2 years ago. I mean, he led the nation, 16.5 sacks. He was in the top 5 in tackles for loss, and he led the nation in fumbles forced. I mean, this guy's a play waiting to happen. Obviously, the ankle slowed him down last year, but I just really enjoyed him from a personality perspective. And you consider that he has the experience with Paul Pasqualoni, the new defensive coordinator for Detroit, with the type of scheme they're going to bring into Detroit, the terminology, much of the same terminology they use in the Detroit defense. It makes a lot of sense on a lot of fronts. There are other good players, but I think it's a very good bet that he could be a candidate for Detroit at 20.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there guys stood out to you?
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's Landry for me, but if I had to pick somebody else, and I will for the purpose of this video, Vita Vea, the defensive tackle from Washington. I think I have a man crush on this guy, or at least a football crush on this guy. 347 pounds.
It's a lot of man.
It's a lot of man. He put up about it seems like 1,000 reps in the bench press. What was it, like
41?
Yeah, 41, which I believe is the high through today right now. And I loved it. I talked to him during his press conference. We were talking about his speed because he wants to run really well, and he actually said, to John Ross and Adidas, "Where's my island? Look out!" Which I love the confidence. John Ross didn't get the island last year because he signed with Nike, but he did break the combine record in the 40. I don't think Vea is going to actually challenge for that, but I think he's going to run very well on Sunday, and I think his stock's going to blow up because at that size, the speed, the productivity, and you throw in the quickness in the 40, this guy could be a top 10 pick. If somehow he gets to 20, I think you run to the podium for the Lions.
Yeah, it's rare to find a defensive tackle that's enormous like that, but can really run around and move and do different things. Sounds a little like Haloti Ngata here.
Well, it's funny because he did drop Haloti Ngata's name too. They're both of similar descent, I think, ethnically, and he name dropped him as a guy he aspires to.
So it's not only a natural fit for the Lions. They've used a guy like that, but it's also possible they could bring Haloti back on a 1-year deal, especially if they go ahead and draft a guy like Vea. Then Haloti's available. It'd be a nice tutor for them. So there's a lot of potential growth for him if he ends up being the guy that they can pick.
That's what we got for today. One more day left here at the Combine for us on Sunday. It'll be defensive backs speaking to us. It'll be defensive linemen and linebackers in the field drills on NFL Network. Very interesting, obviously, from a Detroit perspective. For Nate Atkins, I'm Kyle Meinke. We're MLive. Keep it right here.